In the Season 7 opener, misfortune fell upon three different race leaders. First, the Roland Estonian Errol Num on lap 3. The lead was then turned over to Kane Halliburton, but one lap later he found bad luck. And then after leading lap 14 to 4 to 15, the fickle finger of fate pointed at Jason Staney, leaving Grease Lightning, aka Demetrius Houdeludis, to inherit the Lime Rock victory. Today, we find out once again, first will be cursed, or if the racing gods conspire for a wire-to-wire. Do the other sim race broadcasting companies give you, the viewer, rhymes to open the show like we do here on the Global SimRacing Channel? I think not. You know what else they don't do? Bring you green flag to victory donuts live as it happens, round 2 coverage of the Sim Stickers SRF Weekend Warriors from Daytona. Under a cloud-festooned Floridian sky, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. My usual partner, Joe Peak, is away competing in the Western States professional knit and crochet competition where his toaster cozy has him in the semifinals. So, joining yours truly, Bill Soups on in the broadcast booth to bring you our Word's Eye view, it's Stefan Schlaka. Today, Sean Crackers Ambrose remains our director, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Stefan, after the tight confines of Lime Rock, these weekend warriors should enjoy the extra room at Daytona. Tell us a little bit about this afternoon's venue.
Yes, welcome on in everyone to the world center of racing. Now, with this track overview, I'm gonna cut straight to the point because we're not racing here at the 3.56 mile long road course, but the 2.95 Moto layout. Instead of the fast turn 4 left-hand sweeper, we have a hard braking point for a right-hand 90-degree kink, followed by another 90-degree left-hander, bringing us on backwards onto the straight from the second hairpin in the infield. But once again, we're not using turn 5 backwards, no! Just before it, we take a branch away from it and take a quite tight hairpin, followed by another tight hairpin, and then finally, we take turn 8, which leads us back onto the oval. This time, we're re-entering the track just before the bus stop. From there on out, we follow the normal road course around the track, back to turn 1 again. I hope you all are now not completely clueless and confused, but if you are, don't worry. We got the GSRC lap guide coming to you right now.
Alright, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC SRF, so let's do a lap around Daytona. Down into turn 1, this will be a very popular place to overtake, but the transition off the banking is going to be a bit tricky with how hard you'll be braking. Plus, you'll have a little bit of steering input, so expect some drivers to spin out during the course of the race when they step over the limit. From there, the little chicane of 2 doesn't mean much except straightening it out, then you'll be setting up for the International Horseshoe. This is another good opportunity to make a pass, but ideally you'll want to square off the exit because of the horrible understeer that the Spec racer suffers from. Even with the paved access road, it's possible to be too greedy on the power and wind up in the grass to the left. Now, because this is the Moto layout, instead of the kink, you hit a chicane with a rather quick entry. I wouldn't expect many passes to take place here unless someone is getting desperate. It sharpens up in the second half and then releases you back onto the regular infield course, but backwards. That leads down into the Western Horseshoe, except with a sharper hairpin that comes up much quicker. It's also got that awkward curved entry just to make it more frustrating. This is where you've got an entirely new bit of circuit to learn if you've only ever run the regular road course. You'll float it through 7, and then you've got one of the most important turns on the track, turn 8. This takes you back onto the oval at the backstretch, so as you can imagine, a slow exit will put you at a severe disadvantage. Expect some of the slipstream to come into play too. It's a wide open expanse of pavement out here, but thankfully you've got the cones to the inside to help guide you on the shortest path. Then you've got the bus stop. Since you won't be going as fast as you would on the usual roval circuit, it's a lot tougher to pass into the chicane. Be careful not to get a cut course penalty, then you're fed into the banking of NASCAR 3 and 4. Since it's just a matter of keeping your foot flat to the floor and hugging the inside line, we're going to skip ahead. This is where most of the draft battles will take place, so getting a gauge on when and how to use your momentum will be important during the race. But hopefully you've kept it all together and now finished a lap around Daytona.
And there you have it. It is daytime here at Daytona, although we got a little bit dark there at the end of that video. And that was a trip around Daytona. Now, sim racing can be challenging, but more importantly by far, life can bring challenges for men in this modern world. If that's the case for you, don't let it get you down. Talk to someone. Supportforguys.com wants to listen and wants to help you realize the potential of a happy life. Their goal, to help you find new ways to cope with life's ups and downs. The approach is simple. Find what works for you and support that new path for a better tomorrow. A counselor is waiting to talk to you. Now, you don't have to be local. Just visit supportforguys.com and you can find that happy life that you've been looking for. And now, let's go ahead and talk about the Spec 1 standings. Now, I can't attest whether Demetrius Houtadoulis is having a happy life. We all hope that that's the case. But one thing I can report is Grease Lightning is happy at the top of the point standings. Now, Sugarcane Halliburton led briefly in the opener, but as explained in the very well-written and well-delivered opening, a Lime Rock win was not in the cards for Sugar. My partner will talk about drop races in a moment, but rest assured, there are enough that even Errol Num's third-place finish might not be counted when the final points are added up. Our director, Sean Ambrose, his family name was originally De Ambrosia, so he could take a little bit of pride in seeing Italy's David Stefanini in fourth. Now, with Greece and the UK and Estonia and Italy all represented, the US makes an appearance with Zachary Rivard. More on him as I move down into the Spec 2 championship. Something new for this season is the second championship. Along with the overall championship, there's a Spec 2 class for drivers who are iRating challenged. S2 drivers can easily be identified by their car numbers as they will race with 3-digit numbers all in the 200s. Hey, look at that! There's Zachary Rivard again. His 72 points placed him in 5th overall and in the lead of the Spec 2 standings. Let me shed some light on the inner department workings at GSRC. Every time we start a new series, Andy and Jackson in the graphic department get cranky because they need to assign flags to all the drivers making their series debut. They were dancing a jig when they saw that each driver in the Spec 2 overlay was flying Old Glory. Donald Fitterer and Kelly Nikiti sit 13th and 14th overall. Hey, now I'm pretty sure that Nikiti is the wrong pronunciation of Kelly's name, but until I hear different from Kelly himself, I'm going to enjoy calling Nikiti. Now, Nim Cross Jr. and Bob U-Turn Kern round out the overlay. Now, I welcomed you guys all the viewers to the broadcast, but I haven't had time really to give a warm welcome to the new member of the GSRC stable of commentators, that being Stefan Schlacker. Stefan, I watched the Classic Team Champions broadcast earlier today, and you called with Sam Ryman, and you were outstanding. I'm looking forward to teaming up with you for this one. And speaking of this one, tell the viewers what this one is all about.
Well, first of all, thank you, Soup. But about the race details, we are, as you already said, here in the 7th season of Weekend Warriors. This is their second race of 12 following the official iRacing schedule. Drivers will have 3 drop weeks in their backhand if they really need it. Zeros will be completely free to tune, but we will be limited to 35% of the full fuel cell. Race distance will be 40 minutes in length, and everyone is forced to take 1 pit stop because of their fuel restriction. First will get 100 points, last will get 25, and everything in between will be rationed out between everyone to make great races even more exciting. If someone will go over 10 incident points, they will receive 2 penalty points. That counts for every 10 they get. If they get 20, they deduct 4 points. So be careful through the bus stop. Last but not least, everyone will have 1 free repair just in case something happens today.
The fast repair is kind of strategic. If you damage your car before the pit window opens up, that's kind of a good thing. Or if you damage it right in the pit window, you can come in, take your stop and get a fresh car. You don't want to have an incident after the pit stop. You don't want to make a second one. All right, last point of business here is to go back to Stefan one more time and take a look at the weather. It's in Fahrenheit for us, Stefan. I know you're from over there where they don't deal with the Fs, but you can probably figure that out. What's it look like?
Don't worry about that. Conversion is my friend here. We've got mostly cloudy weather with 87° Fahrenheit in the air and 98° Fahrenheit on the track. We've got a wind with 10 miles per hour from the east and a humidity of only 1%.
There you go. So a little bit warm, but these cars should be okay. I'm excited to call a race from this configuration. I have yet to do that. Let's see how excited the drivers are right now. Some familiar names at the top of the qualifying. David Gasper and Kane Halliburton just moved up into second. There's the Ghost right there. Gasper's the Ghost. Country mate of my partner. Oh, no, sorry. We keep thinking that Stefan's from Germany. You are indeed from Austria. Is that correct?
In very deed.
See, I'm not going to make the same mistake that Joe Peak made. I'm learning. There's Halliburton. He sits second right now. He put in a qualifying time of 1:59.68 compared to Gasper's 1:59.67. That's a 1/100th of a second.
But
now, as we go through here, am I wrong? Stefan, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you know, is the bus stop different than what we usually see, or is that the same bus stop that we always see?
It's the same bus stop we always see.
Same one, okay.
Just you have to be careful on the exit because we're here on the old Daytona. And so the exit curb that you have here is a very small one. And if you get too much on that, you will get an off track. But one thing that I have to point out here is that we are, as we've already grown accustomed to this in the series, we are super close on times throughout the top 20. We're here just 2 seconds away, first to 20th.
Yeah, what you're going to see here today, folks, is it's going to be a train of cars. It's going to be pack racing. Although there might be some technical sections, maybe they can break up the train a little bit. Fuel saving in these cars is such a big factor that the guys who lead early may not be the guys who win this race. As a lot of times people like to sit back there and just play possum, save fuel, have a little bit of a shorter pit stop.
Yes, but you also don't have to forget that the draft in these cars is 1.5 seconds long. So if you have a little problem through a technical section, you're gonna catch up again through the back end of the field.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds. Yeah, that's probably the distance right there. You can count from as we look on board with the Italian driver Stefanini, 1001. He's easily within 1.5 seconds of the car in front of him. So even that's going to be in the tow. Yeah, and that's one of the guys, the talented drivers, Gaspers, Halliburton. These type of tracks really don't play into their advantage because it lets guys who aren't quite as fast have a chance at the win.
Yes, and that's exactly the fun and the joy of races like these, because everyone gets a chance. I don't know, it's like motorcycle racing in lower classes.
Can we take a look at car number 6? He's currently 6 in qualifying. He's a new name that I'm not familiar with, but our director knows this name. And we're talking about Jonathan Madden. Right now he's out there. He's a Bushfink driver. Oh, one of the Bushfink guys coming over. They are everywhere. Right now he falls behind, right behind David Gaspers on the track.
Yes, Bushfink, they are everywhere and they come in a bunch.
Yes,
you can't get away from them.
I think since they're birds, they come in a flock. I think that's how that works.
Yes.
Boy, he is right behind Gaspers right now. One of the advantages of it might actually be a little bit too close to get a good advantage here in the qualifying time. One of the fun things about open qualifying is that you can steal some time. Look at the tow he has right now. This could be a good lap.
Double tow right now.
Yeah. Double tow, exactly. As they work around the car on the outside, that was Esanumi.
Now, that's interesting. He went for the bump draft in validating both lap times.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Probably.
No, wait, it didn't.
Right? No,
it didn't. They put him first, 3/10.
It was ever so gentle of a bump draft that it didn't qualify. So look at that. I think David
Congrats,
Gaspers
Jonathan.
might have got a little bit of a benefit out of that too, but Madden, well, we were on it. That's what we do here at GSRC. We know how to find those laps.
Perfect lap from Jonathan right there.
Daniel Sadro currently sitting in 11th, 12th position right now. Looking.
Oh, he's getting held up here. Oh, he has a... Oh, that's
not
his
gonna
lap down.
Sadro was behind Donald Fitterer. Fitterer, of course, one of the, I'm going to be hard not to say AM drivers, one of the Spec 2 drivers, they're calling it here. Currently our top Spec 2 driver, Jens Nordstrom, in 16th. Oh, I didn't do my homework and work my way through some of these pronunciations like I should have. I promised everyone I'd have them better. I think I'm going to be okay today. And Ramon Regalado right now sitting in 30th position. Qualifying's just about done. They'll give these guys a little bit of extra time. Not sure if you can hear that. The flamingos have landed on top of the broadcast booth here. Get off of there, you dang birds. All right. Hopefully that's not coming across on the microphone. Qualifying is done, but they let them finish their hot laps right now, so we have a few drivers out there trying to put in that final lap.
Everyone so far has only put an invalid laps in.
All right, with that done, I believe we can go to the grid, and we'll start by doing the front row. Can't remember if we have a rolling start here or a standing start. I believe we have a rolling start. So, Stefan, let's take it a row at a time. I'll take the front row. Jonathan Madden and David Gaspers fill up row 1. Who's in row 2?
Row 2, we have got Kane Halliburton and Aero Num.
Reese Lightning, your point leader, Demetrius Houdeludis in the 5th position inside of Antonio Reese.
Michael Shaw and Steve Elson round up row 4.
Row 5's populated by James Tiver and Fred Desai.
Andres Bertoni and Daniel Sandro are 11th and 12th.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's Alan Chapman. He is flanked by our Italian driver, David Stefanini.
Philippe Jovin in 15th and Jens Nordström in 16th.
Behind them is series organizer Stevie Ray inside of Bob U-Turn Kern.
Gary McAravey and Edward Doherty round out our top 20.
Hidden Blackjack, it is Nim Cross Jr. He's in that Spec 2 top 5. Donald Fitter, another Spec 2 driver in the double duck spot.
The next Spec 2 driver is Todd Hansen, followed by Jeff Jacobsen.
In the 25th position is Mihail Vasilescu inside of Christopher Smith.
Gary Walbot and Esa Numi are in row 14.
The Spider-Man car, number 97, Jason Perry, way back in 29th, is flanked by Tom Gradwell.
Ramon Regalado is in 31st and Paul Godney in 32nd.
Archfield today, Wayne Palmer in the 3-3 position inside of Jeroen Worsom in 34th.
35th, Jeff Cantor, and 36th, Richard Valley.
In the 37th spot, it's Francois Van Dorndeville inside of Matt. Oh man, I got a hard one. You want to try this one? Take a shot at that one. That's more your land. The 38th position. What do you think?
Mats Sjoblom.
Okay, I'll go for that. Why don't you keep going? You got 39 and 40.
Jeffrey Murphy is 39th and 40th. That's row 20. Guilherme Crabo.
I'll take these last 3 drivers that did not put in qualifying times. Jason Dunnington, Ross Nicholson, and Paul Hickey. 3 names that I can pronounce. Of course, we encourage you to play the GSRC consumption game every time one of your commentators butchers a last name, and chances are it's going to be me more than my partner. Take a sip! And of course, we recommend a non-alcoholic beverage. Drink safely. GSRC cares. All right, with that out of the way, they begin to roll. Big field here today. The series organizers were very careful to remind the drivers to get here early. There were only 43 available pit spots, and they filled up 42 of them.
interestingly enough, our 43rd driver, Jason Dunningham, is not in the server right now, so we'll only have a 42 car rolling start. Speaking of only, it's still quite a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. As they work their way around, my timing and scoring is down here, so I'm going to multitask and see if I can get that back up so I can track pit stops for it. Get that going as I multitask. They get a full pace lap here. Love this layout. This should be a better layout for these little cars than the big Daytona would be.
Yes, I should do think so with the small infield. It suits these cars much more than the big infield that the normal road course has.
Also, I like the entry back onto the oval. It's a little more in line than what we usually see.
Yes, indeed, but it can get quite hairy here, because if you get someone that is a bit too eager to defend, he's gonna drive all the way on those cones and then up the yellow line. They're not allowed to drive below the yellow line, and then that could cause some real issue if they take the very tight line into the bus stop, especially on lap 1 or 2.
And there they go through the bus stop right now. We're going to get ready to go here pretty darn soon.
But yeah, guys, just to take this in for a moment, we've got now taking John Madden out of account here with his 59.3. We've got the top 10 within 1 second and the top 20 within 2 seconds. So we're super tight here. Just keep that in your mind. We will see a large chunk of this field stay together for a very long time.
Pace car is heading now towards pit entrance. Round number 2. Big
First
field.
2 people are very tight together, and Bob Kern already has some damage on the right side. Is it just me, or did the pace car stay out?
Yeah, that's what me. Pace car stayed out. Clearly, that's...
Oh, wreck. Oh, big one.
Well, I don't blame them. They're trying to get around the pace car. Oh, we have massive laps all over the place.
Oh, that was...
It was beyond even explanation. We're going to try to get...
Wrecks are still happening at the back.
Yeah, I believe something. I'm not sure if everyone saw the green flag. I got a hunch maybe with the pace car staying out.
Well, everyone seemed to just go, and then everyone realized the pace car is still out, and then confusion happened, and...
Well, I'll tell you what is happening up front. It is John Madden up in front, Kane Halliburton. These guys all avoided it. Somehow, the guys up front realized that the pace car was doing screwy things. David Gaspers is around, Errol Num, and Demetrius Houladoulis. They race up front. Clearly, that's why my time and scoring went down as well, as I have no pit stop information right now. But we'll do the best we can. We will soldier on.
All right, let's see. We have Alan Chapman at the very back of this field, the first pack of this field. He is in, as my timing crashes as well. 2 seconds.
We're going to do the best we can. There, we're looking at it right now. There we see what we're looking at. There's Errol Num.
All right, let's see. Do we have... all right, there we go. My timing is back. Our first guy that is Spec 2 driver who survived all of this is Nimcross in, I believe, 11th right now.
There you go.
He has nobody in front, nobody behind. So he's a bit of in the no man's land of draft. Oh, wait, Philip Chauvin is behind him in the draft, so he's catching up to him.
Meanwhile, up in front, we have a pass for the lead, although Gaspers is blinking. I'm not sure if did he go away? He's back for me. He made a pass, tried to go on the outside of Madden through one. Then he held back, so it's Madden, Gaspers, 1-2, Halliburton right behind as this big train up front. Num, and Hulalutus top 5. Huge banging going on somewhere. Again, I'm having issues. We'll just stay with it here. We'll just watch the screen as we look there at Gaspers in second.
Just to give an update, after this wreck, we have the first 14 roughly in one pack, and then we've got a 3-second gap to the next pack, which is 10 cars or so, and then we've got a 10-second gap to the last pack, which is another 10 cars, and then it seems like we have lost somewhere around the 8 car marks in this wreck. Which
we're gonna, when we settle down, we'll go back and look at the first lap. Maybe we can go ahead and put the camera on the pace car. That's something we've never had to do before as we look at the first lap. Madden, Gaspers, Halliburton, Num, and Hulalutus, your top 5. Shaw, Elson, Chapman, Tiber, and Nim Cross Jr. in 10th. Now, Cross, your top Spec 2 driver, beginning to lose touch with Tiber in 9th.
But he has got Chauvin behind him, so when he will be at Nim Cross Spec, he will have a draft partner, then maybe they can do something happening here in the following laps to catch up again to the front pack.
This time Gaspers does make the move up front, gets around Madden, and will lead them across the start-finish line and into corner number 1.
Oh, Alan Chapman had a tiny little bit mistake into turn 1, barely avoiding the walls on the inside there, losing 2 spots from 7th to 10th.
Yeah, and when you fall back, you got to be careful not to lose the draft. He is actually going to be back now behind Elson, who's struggling to stay with the group. Spin behind, maybe I would have to guess.
Nim Cross.
Cross, yeah. Cross was the leader of your Spec 2 drivers.
As we go onto the replay here for Nim Cross, just too deep into the international horseshoe and then taking on the grass, and there's a big drop off and he hits that perfectly, spinning him around. And then a safe retry. As we're back live again.
So
but
now, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Our front train now is beginning to shrink a bit. As looks like we're down to 6 cars with Michael Shaw, the caboose.
But even Michael Shaw is kind of losing the guys in front, but he's hanging in there because of the draft, which, as I already said, is rather big here.
Good news, my timing and scoring has come back online, so that's going to make me happy. We can track pit stops here. We continue to lose a point, the connection between a lot of drivers as well as there are a lot of blinking going on.
Speaking of timing, mine is back too.
There we have it. This took a little while.
There's a pass for second. Or not, he's backing out, never mind.
Alright.
As we go back to 16th, pack of 3 cars fighting here for position. Wayne Palmer got overtaken by Ross Nicholson earlier on. He's not trying to do anything here into turn 1, but as you can see, Palmer and, as he makes a mistake, and Walbot are both damaged on the right side.
These guys are about 20 seconds behind the leaders, and the mistake from Palmer is going to let Nicholson try to run away with it. A little farther up in P7. It really starts with Tom Gradwell up there. Oh, that's a lap car. They're coming up behind him, but then it's Elson, Chapman, Tiber, Doherty in there as well. Chauvin, this is a nice battle. All behind a driver in 41st.
Speaking of this battle, we have Alan Chapman in here, and he was one of the, as he has a kind of a slide there through turn 8, he was one of the who were able to benefit from this start mayhem. He went from 13th to right now 7th.
Elson in 7th is about 3 seconds behind Shaw. The caboose of that lead train, and Shaw is real close to losing it. Here's a pass, though, for 7th right now as we ride on board with Alan Chapman. He goes underneath, and I think Elson might get freight trained. Up on the high side, they're all going to come. That's a Tibber going underneath, and I think Doherty's going to come right along with him.
3 wide we go.
Now it's 2 by 2.
As Chapman now gets freight trained. That is exactly the big draft that we were talking about here in the SRF. It's not only very big, it's also very effective, as you can see.
Yeah, he almost made you move too soon there, and the guys were able to come around. That's Elson trying to get the car going around the top side. He'll have some momentum. He's right next. That's Chapman underneath him. Chapman's going to have to settle to be 3rd in line of that group. Great racing going on there. Shaw has lost it all together ahead of these guys in 6th. When I say lost it, he has lost touch with the draft. So now the lead train is down to 5.
Yeah, if Shaw is smart enough, he's gonna let himself drop back to the pack behind him, because you're gonna run into quite some heavy fuel consumption if you run alone here instead of in a draft.
The racing up front.
Oh, that was netcode right there.
A little bit of netcode.
Great save though.
Yep. Look there, there's Elson working his way through.
We're 2 wide behind, 3 wide now behind him, with Elson, Tibor, and Chapman. That ain't gonna end well as Chapman backs out and loses another position because he's backing out.
This racing back here in this group is much different from the dynamic that's going on up front. They are much more well-behaved 1st through 5 than they are 8th through 12th.
Battle for first. Speaking of it, Jonathan Madden and David Gaspers. Or are they trying to go away here?
That looks familiar, doesn't it? Remember, we saw these two do the same thing during qualifying. Although it was Madden behind Gaspers.
Last lap, they drove away 5/10 from Kane. So they are really trying to get away here, make this a 2-car race instead of a 5-car race.
It is Kane, Halliburton, and Num, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Gaspers and Madden trying to pull away, although the internet connection is so poor up there. We're going to come back to that one a little bit later when they settle down.
Yeah, but going back to the...
Yep, same one. Go ahead.
Going back to the pack where we were earlier, all the battling, the 3 wide into the bus stop and everything, allowed Doherty to just drive away from them within 3 laps, 3 corners, as Jeffrey Murphy positioned 40th spin in front of some lead pack guys.
Yeah, that's a good view of the cars as they go by. Let's go to Jeffrey Murphy. I think he's having lunch. Now he's going to go. I think he just...
Or not.
Yeah, stopped off on the Florida countryside, got out a sandwich.
He's playing the super nice guy here.
There you go.
Better be safe than sorry.
Let's look at Jeff. Oh, that was Jeff. Never mind. Jeff Cantor had a little bit of a spin, but he kept it going. Well, I'm hearing something going on right now, but again, not seeing it. Let's look at P13. Oh, no. Let's go to this one. This is Desai. This is go to Fred Desai, Esanumi, and Donald Fitterer. This is what I heard. I think this is fairly recent. Yeah. They're about, well, they're 41st position now because they're in the pit lane. About 30 seconds ago, this is a big one. There's 3 guys on this one. This is on the main straight. There we go. Watch it. There they get together, but they're not done. Boom. So, a little bit of fighting going on in the back.
Speaking of 3 cars together, we are still here for 8th place with 3 cars remaining, catching Doherty really fast. A second a lap as they've already caught onto his back end again.
Yeah, the interesting interval is Doherty, which is about 4 seconds up to Shaw. Shaw all in no man's land right now, not touching the lead cars, and then the second pack coming his way.
Yes, but watch out for this pack. There are 5 cars, and we have seen already quite a lot of overtaking going at place here. So it's not the fastest strategy, but it's sure the most exciting one.
Up front, they pretty much race in order. There's still Gaspers and Madden just kind of help each other out. They haven't been able to pull away. About 1.5 seconds back, Hootaludis, Halliburton, and Num. Those 3 just putting in the miles. Let's go back and look back here at 18th position. This is Jeff Canner and Ross Nicholson. Cantor, a Spec 2 driver. Sitting about 7th out of all those.
Yes, sir.
Just to run down our tier 2s, our top one right now is Edward Doherty in 7th. He's the
starting
leader
from
of that.
20th.
Yeah. He's the leader of that exciting train that we've been watching. There's Doherty right up there, and I'm going to say that's green and white.
Yes,
making a move on the outside is Chapman. Where are you going, boys?
As we also have a 3-wide battle behind them now. Between Tibor, Chauvin, and Elson.
Oh, they get together! Right in front of Elson. He's going to get the worst of it. Also going in the wall is Tibor. The guy who gets out of it the best is Philippe Chauvin. Felipe driving away. We take a look at this one now. Felipe, did he leave him room? Did he turn him? Did Tibor go up into Felipe? You can see them get together.
Felipe did leave enough room, but I think there's only some James here. Just creeping up a bit too much onto the track and then spinning in front of Philippe's nose.
Yep. Well, so that battle that we were looking at there, 7th gets about 3 cars less now as we ride up ahead. This is still Gaspers and Madden. 1.2 seconds ahead of the 3 cars that are chasing them.
I tell you, they have Hootaloo, Kane, and Aero. They are trying to get back up, and they have put in a faster lap time by 3/10 last lap around. So Madden and Gaspers, they don't have it in their books yet.
No. Do you think that Demetrius in 3rd position, he looks to be too far back to be saving fuel from there? I guess if you were saving, you'd want to be more like Halliburton or Num, right?
Yes. Obviously, if you're not in a draft, you can't save fuel at all here because it would just slow you down so much. But I still think he is just barely in the draft of the cars ahead of him.
Getting a little bit of help from Halliburton. Give him a buck push.
Speaking of, it shows 1.5 seconds, a bit more between 2nd and 3rd, so he's just barely not in the draft anymore.
The guy who is back there just behaving is the Roland Estonian Errol Num. If you don't know about Num, he is one cool customer.
She sure is.
And there you go. Errol Num. Let's go to 6th position when we can. Cut away from that onboard camera there. I want to talk about Michael Shaw. He's now 9 seconds behind Num, so he's drifting back into the clutches of the guys who are coming. He's 1.5 seconds up. Here comes Alan Chapman. Now, Chapman has lost all of his Daphne partners because of that incident on the main straight there. So it's really Chapman and Doherty coming. Doherty, the leader of all the Spec 2 drivers.
Yes, speaking of Doherty, he's right now leading Spec 2 by about, I would say, 8 seconds on the line. So he really benefited a lot of this turn 1. Ooh, big wobble there from Doherty. as he caught the grass just a little bit too much.
Going to get a replay on Jeroen Ursum in 21st position. This was a fun one here, as happened about 30 seconds ago, going into corner number 1. He does a good job of racing backwards. I just like this one as the car spins around. Watch how long he lets it roll backwards. We'll get him down into 1 here. You'll see it right here. The car gets loose. Now when the car comes around, when it starts rolling backwards, just get off the gas and I'll just roll it right back here out of the way. Turn it around, get going again. Nicely done, Jeroen. Come back live. There's Jeroen. Of course, he manages the MWT, the MX5 World Tour. That'll be coming at the end of this month on Saturdays. All right, we'll go a little farther back. What do you see in 23rd there, Stefan?
A battle heating up there between Francois van Donneveld and David Stefanini. The 95 driver and the 242. Just going into the bus stop there. Francois taking a lot of curb in. Sliding out a little bit in the mid part because of it. Let's see how that affected his straight line speed. It didn't affect it too much. But obviously because of the big draft effect, Stefanini will come here quite easily, as also Mihail behind is closing in very fast on both drivers.
Yep, Vasilescu coming with him. What a difference a week makes. Remember, we did the points overlay. We saw the Italian driver David Stefanini up there in the top 5. Well, my goodness, he's back in 22nd now.
But Mihail thinks better of it and does not overtake anyone. Quite a smart move, if you ask me.
We're going to jump you around a little bit. We're going to go to 10th to a pair of Spec 2 drivers. We haven't talked much about them. Nim Cross in 10th. Bob U-Turn Kern in 11th. These guys race 2nd and 3rd in the Spec 2 standings. Now, the way they do it, the way they score the Spec 2 is basically all the drivers are scored equally. So if, even though they're racing together, Kern and Cross, if Cross were to pick up a point on get around like Chavin, for instance, a Spec 1 driver, he would pick up some more points. He's about 7.5 seconds before he would get to Felipe.
It is quite interesting how this battle for 7th, or rather 6th, just became none. We have everyone spread out quite a lot as Alan Chapman pits for the first time.
So Chapman comes in.
They have a very slow refuel rate in these cars, so a very long stop for Chapman as he goes off his pit stall without a wheel spin, no pit limiter in these cars, and off he goes.
And the good news is he cycles out all by himself, doesn't have to worry about any emerging traffic.
That's some damage there for Chapman.
Didn't have to worry about the traffic, but he did have to worry about the wall. Wall jumped out and got him.
Yeah, he has some right rear damage, which is slightly gonna hurt his straight line speed, but I don't think it's gonna impede him all that much. But every little counts on this track.
So with Chapman pitting, that opens the distance now back to Edward Doherty. Between Doherty and Shaw, about 3.5 seconds. So Shaw feeling a little more comfortable in 6th spot.
Jumping to P18 here between Jason Perry and who is that? James Tibor again.
Yep.
Obviously, he came out the best in that 3-car crash that we saw earlier on the broadcast.
Perry in his familiar Spider-Man livery back there, but well far back. He qualified in 29th. He's up 9 spots, but nevertheless, or let me correct myself, 11 spots. But surprisingly, not in the mix today for the win.
Well, speaking about him gaining a lot of positions, let's see who is the best so far in gaining positions. And I have here Ross Nicholson, who is just ahead of the two with plus 25 going from 41st to 17th.
Yeah, basically, if you were able to avoid the first lap carnage, you're able to pick up a lot of spots. And he's got the sponsor's paint job on his car. Always important to give the sponsor a little love here on the Global SimRacing Channel. There, you see it. Hey, if you don't know about, is it Sim Stickers? Is that what we're looking at there, Director? Is that the sponsor we're seeing? Boy, if you don't, you got to check those guys out. What they are, they're little stickers that you can peel off and put on your keyboard so you never forget how you've hotkeyed your keyboard for like iRacing. If you don't know where the toe, how you did that, really, really cool. I saw their advertisement. I really liked it. Some more pit stops going on. Alan Chapman is still going to be the leader of all those. Andres Bertoni, one of them coming in. Antonio Reese. A lot of drivers just trying to salvage whatever they can out of this one. A lot of, when I look at the timing and scoring, you see a lot of single-digit qualifiers well down the list.
Speaking about Alan Chapman and the guys who have finished already, he has, let's see, what gap is there to the next guy who has pitted already? That would be Jason Perry.
Yep.
In 16th position, 4 positions down, but 25 seconds already back on Alan Chapman, who just overtook Wayne Palmer into the bus stop.
Let's go to up front. This is Elson just coming out now. Look at Halliburton in 4th. Some stuff has happened here. Halliburton's in 4th. He's lost touch with everybody.
In the pit lane, by the way.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
As he just came out again, Aeronom just behind a pack of cars. That would be 10th. So he lost 5 positions on that pit stop. Clean exit, unlike his teammate. And he will be able to benefit of the draft of the guys ahead.
So, yeah. And he's the leader up front. Let's go to 2nd position. Now, this is Gaspers. He's got about 1 second over Hootalutus. But remember, Hootalutus was in this battle with Halliburton and Num. Num is peeled off. Behind Hootalutus are the lap cars of Elson, Ursum, and then Halliburton, the number 12 car in 4th position, is off pace and lost touch with the leaders.
I don't really know what happened to Jonathan and David in 1st and 2nd, but Dimitrios, he gained 2 seconds on them the last lap around.
And he's got 4 seconds now on Halliburton. The front 2 continue to swap. It'll be interesting to see who's going to get the best pit stop when they both come in. As there is the Ghost, Gaspers going around the outside of Madden.
Leaders are pitting.
Oh, they're coming in. Look at that.
Dimitrios coming in with them too.
And they are side by side. You know, you can tell Gaspers was in a hurry. He wanted to be first down pit lane. So it's Gaspers, Madden, and here comes Hootalutus.
So this will hand over the lead to Kane Halliburton.
Halliburton stays out. Now the question is, as they pull in, where is Errol Num? Because he was the guy who was racing,
He's
saving
coming
fuel.
to the pit entry right now.
The number 78 machine rolling.
Here
The
he
front
comes.
guys are still in the pit. Okay.
Gasper strikes away. Pretty sure he has it. He got it.
Gaspers. But there's Num.
Gasper's into the wall.
Yeah. And there goes Num around the top. New leader, the rolling Estonian, Errol Num. I told you he's a cool customer. Gaspers put it to the wall at pit exit. Madden in there. The blue car is a lap down. That's Valley. Richie Valley getting out of the way. Gaspers
Gaspers has wheel damage. Gasper's got wheel damage. He's struggling really hard to keep his car on track. Folks, that's how you can throw away one great race with just one pit exit.
Yep. All this, well, he's not the first one of our lead guys to have trouble. Remember, we saw Chapman put it in the wall as well. All this going on behind Kane Halliburton, who has yet to make a stop. He's in the bus stop now.
Yes, Kane Halliburton and Michael Shaw are ahead of Aeronum, who have not pitted yet, but they are due to pit any lap now.
Shaw will have no hope of getting out. Halliburton has a slim chance of getting out ahead of the leaders.
My relative shows that he will get out of pit lane 10 seconds behind our leaders as of right now. So even that small chance is no chance.
It really becomes a question of how he comes out in relationship to David Gasper's wounded car. Gasper's, oh my gosh, he is so slow.
Pretty sure that Gaspers has to come in here. He cannot afford to drive.
All right, Halliburton has made a stop, and the leaders are going to blow by.
Yeah, Gaspers comes in for the fast repair.
Halliburton rolling.
Actually, this is way closer than I anticipated. Look at that.
Yeah,
wow.
Sure is. Now that's Numb on the outside. He should have the momentum to
Kane
probably get
has
there,
the opportunity to take the lead here.
Numb gets there first, but Halliburton is going to tuck it in second. Nope. Fighting for that position is Madden.
This is going to be really hard now for Kane Halliburton and Dimitrios Houdelus, because we have got two Bushfink racers ahead of him.
Well, for all you Halliburton fans, don't get too excited. His pit stop, the one way that you make up a lot of time in pit lane is not take a lot of fuel. His stop was incredibly fast, 8.6 seconds compared to like 13 and 12. Numb's was 10.2. I think Halliburton's going to have to really pedal this to get to the end.
He was counting on the draft of the guys ahead. That's how he saved all those seconds. He also had a super fast pit lane transition time too. So as we jump to P11, Bob Kern. He is fighting with James Tibor, Jason Perry, and also with Andres Bertoni behind him.
Now, just ahead of these, Nim Cross just spun, so he loses a position.
Not the day for Nim today.
We're looking there for, this is a battle for 12th. Leader of all the Tier 2 drivers, Edward Doherty, he's currently in 7th. The name that is conspicuously absent is Shaw. Remember, Shaw was in 6th position. We were wondering how. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. He's up in 5th. Yeah. Picked up a spot. I was looking at, it was Gasper's problem that fooled me.
I just want to say that he's fighting with someone, but no, it's just a lap car on top of him.
Speaking of Gaspers, did he actually come? Nope, he stayed in pit lane. He's still in there. So his day is done. Look at that 3 wide you're looking at there. 3 wide plus one guy looking for some place to put it.
We can make it 4. Come on now.
I think they can.
But last time we saw 3 wide here, it didn't end well. Will they do it better? Very close between the top 2.
They get it sorted out.
Tony takes it 3 wide into turn 1.
On the outside, though, that's Kern. Now, getting in there, that's Bertoni coming in. Bertoni's going to have the momentum. He moves up now into 11th.
What a move by Bertoni.
Spider-Man ducks his nose in there.
That was close.
Perry now up into 12th. Poor U-turn Kern going the wrong direction in the 206. We're looking for somewhere to put it.
But what a power move by Bertoni, going from 14th to 11th in 1 turn.
All that going on, I can report that up front, we still have Errol Num. Let's go up front. This is going to be good. This is Madden and a moving. There's a pass for the lead. Hootalutus, the Grease Lightning on the outside in the white car. Down into one. Grease Lightning's going to be first into one. The momentum for Madden on the top.
Oh,
right.
spinner
It's a
ahead.
little squirrely.
Ooh.
Oh, right in front. That was Jeroen Ursum. He had practice backing the car out of the way. He did it again.
But this really helped Kane behind them because he was already quite a ways back on them, nearly losing the draft. And this spin really helped him because the leaders had to back out of everything they got.
Jeff Jacobson, check your mirrors because the 4 cars that are battling for the lead are coming.
They're coming and they're coming out.
Hopefully they can get out onto the oval and they can deal with it there. As an experienced back marker, I can tell you that's where you want to do it. And I think it's going to work out fine for Jeff and for Paul Hickey as well. Unless they catch him going into one. Here they come. They're going to be fast. Now, this may work out for Madden. Madden's going to have a little bit of a toe that he can get off of the slower car of Jacobson. 6 minutes of racing to go. There's a lot of cars to follow, but for the final 6 minutes, Stefan, we're going to do a lot of our attention up here up front because this is where the action's going to be.
Yes, indeed, this will be where all the points will be given out that are really important.
Jacobson gets through the bus stop, so that's good news. Now here comes Madden Hootalutus in that Marlboro machine coming.
The guy who will really benefit from all of this is Aaron Num behind.
And remember, we don't think Halliburton has enough fuel to get to the end. Look at the chess playing from Hootalutus as he pins the leader behind the lapped car. No, he doesn't. There's enough room.
Oh, that was close.
Like Odysseus between the devil and the deep blue sea. Jonathan Madden squeezes through. That lap car on the top side trying to get out of the way. Paul Hickey does a good job. Keep it going straight.
One more. We got Francois doing a great job getting off the wheel there.
Woo! So how does it settle down? Madden, Hootalutus, Num, and the car that we think is a little short on fuel, Kane Halliburton. He's lost touch now.
Yeah, this is really hurting Kane. He's stuck in between the lappers. He has lost all touch to the guys in front.
A 7-second cushion before well, it's Alan Chapman now. Chapman has got around Shaw.
So the interesting part here for the leaders will be not who to lose, but will TBR race each other? That is the big question here.
In the past, they have been some pretty serious team orders, and Errol Num has got the benefit of it as a rule. But that was when he had drivers that were not in the championship hunt. We're early days in this championship. It may not be determined yet who's actually running for the crown. Demetrius has to feel a little bit outnumbered, though.
A little bit, yeah. But hey, if they're allowed to race each other, it's only gonna be good for us.
Same with that now as they we look back at Madden on the outside of Madden. You couldn't see because he's on the outside of him. Grease Lightning in the 27 goes to the outside. He's going to get credited with leading the lap. He does. Lesson learned.
Will he?
Or will he is right. Yes, he does. I spoke too soon, but boy. And these little cars out of that final corner, you could actually get the lead. My goodness, another spinner. That's Jens Nordstrom.
Oh, he's actually stuck in the tires there, Jens. He is not gonna get out there.
We'll look at the leader. Go ahead, Stefan. Tell me what we're looking at here.
As we take a replay here on board with Jonathan Madden through that turn one. Very close call for the leaders.
The last thing you want to see is a spinner in front of you. 2.5 minutes of racing to go. Madden, Hootalootus, and Numb. Halliburton has fallen off the pace. Oh, that lead, which was, what, 7 seconds, is now 2 seconds. Oh, let me correct myself. Shaw and Gaspers have already, Shaw and Chapman have already got him. Halliburton is back to A6 now, yeah. So that's settling down. So with 2 minutes of racing to go, we're going to focus up front. Madden, Hootalootus, and Numb. For Hootalootus, it's a bush sphinx sandwich. We ride on board with the Rolling Estonian. Look how cool he is back there. No need to fight yet. Taking notes. Stefan, maybe third position might be the place to be, and maybe 2 cars will punch a huge hole. Maybe you can get there from third.
On lap 18, Aero was really fast, getting very close to them, and then backed off. I think if he wouldn't have backed off, he would have gotten both over the finish line. So really, I'm counting here a lot on Aero.
We already
go on the white flag.
All right, it is Grease Lightning up in front. Demetrius Hootalootus followed by 2 Bushfink drivers, Jonathan Madden and Errol Numb. They head down into the horseshoe. Let's see when the Bushfink guys make their move. I would be surprised if they do anything before they go back out onto the oval. Do they make a run into the bus stop?
Dimitrios, he has to get away here over 1.5 seconds, and I don't think he will be able to do it. If the Bushfink guys are smart, they will not do anything into the bus stop to set up the run for the finish line. But once again, Aero in that third position, he is the man to watch here for the finish.
The 2 cars, when they go side by side in front of them, when Madden makes the move on Hootalootus, it's going to make a huge hole for Numb, and Numb can decide whether he wants to go up top, down low, or try to squeeze through the middle. Well, they're out onto the oval now, but as Stefan said, they probably do not want to make their move until after the bus stop.
The good thing is there will be no traffic impeding anyone here to the finish.
Madden lays back a little bit to get a good run, and he gets a great run out of the bus stop. He's 4 car lengths back. He's coming. Numb is waiting, but coming with him. Now 3 back. Here comes the run. 2 back. Hootalootus moves to the top side to protect up top. He's going to make Madden go underneath. The pass is made, but he didn't make it too early. Look at that. The Greek driver tucks back underneath. There is no room for Numb to put the car, but now there is. The Rolling Estonian with momentum up top. Here comes Hootalootus through the middle. We're going to have a 3-wide finish at the end. They run down. I think the Greek driver has a little bit of a bump.
Ooh.
They touch. The winner,
Who was that?
Errol Numb.
No way. It isn't.
Back to
It's
P7.
Hootalootus.
We'll come back and look at the finish.
What a finish right there. P8, Chauvin versus Cravo versus Ursum. Same exact situation there with Ursum coming in right now. Big one.
Yeah, Ursum a lap down, a little bit of a touch. They bang. They go across the line.
Who got that?
Chauvin is going to get the point, I think. Look at another 3-way finish. This is for 13th.
Bob Curran got that one for 11th.
Yep. They continue to fight at the end. My timing and scoring, I cannot tell you because it only goes 3 digits to the right. It's a dead heat between Numb and Hootalootus.
As we go back onto the replay to see who really won this, because on my timing it's Hootalootus, and apparently on Bill's it is Numb.
Well, on the iRacing scoring it says Numb. Maybe we'll go back just a tiny bit. That's Numb on the top side, Hootalootus in the middle, Madden down low. We're
just a tiny bit too late there.
Yep. weren't able to see the end. The official iRacing timing and scoring gives it to Errol Num by no 100ths, 1,000ths, 1 millionths of a second. We'll have to check actually the box score. It'll break down a little farther. Hoodaludus and Madden. The racing is over here in Daytona, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. From Daytona Motor Speedway, welcome back to GSRC's Round 2 coverage of the SRF Weekend Warriors, sponsored by the Sim Stickers. Let's go ahead, before we get to the points, let's go ahead and take a look at that finish. That was too close to call. Here we go. Now, Num is the third car back, Stefan, the dark car. Hoodaludus goes to the top side to protect up top, and Madden goes underneath.
What a strategy call by Arrow, with just coming back from third, getting all the draft he can, and then also Jonathan helped him a little bit, blocking Dimitrios, and then a slight wheel-to-wheel contact and a millimeters decision between.
I think that contact was it. Now we go back to Chavin real quick right here. Go back right now and make the cut. Now watch this. This is at the line. This is the one where we think they get together.
Yeah, the thing with Chauvin and
might be Doherty, not sure who that opened. He blinks away there with the bad connection. All right, we'll come back live here. We couldn't get that one there as they got together. What an exciting event. Let's give you the official timing and scoring according to iRacing. Your winner by no 100th, by no centillionths of a second on my chart. Oh, there it is right there. It says 1. Our timing and scoring gives it 1/1000th of a second to Aeronum over Demetrius Houdaloudas. Jonathan Madden has to settle for third. Alan Chapman and Michael Shaw. Nice right recovery for Chapman. He gets fourth. Shaw hangs in there in fifth. Back half of your top 10, Kane Halliburton limps that car home ahead of Edward Doherty. Felipe Chavin, Nim Cross, and by the way, Doherty's going to be our top Spec 2 driver. Get through this soup. And in 10th, Todd Hansen. All right, try it, Stefan. You're up.
Bob Kern in 11th, Jason Perry gaining 17 spots, finishing 12th. Andres Bertoni finishing 13th, 14th, James Tibor. Stevie Ray finishing out our top 15. Wayne Palmer once again plus 17, finishing in 16th. Jeff Cantor plus 18, finishing in 17th. Daniel Sadro losing 6 positions, down in 18th. And then here we have the guy with the best recovery from his starting position, plus 22, coming from 41st, finishing in 19th. And 20th, we have Stephen Elson losing 12 positions.
4 more drivers on the lead lap, most of them finishing ahead of where they qualified. Paul Gooden and Gary Wolbert in 21st and 22nd. Here's a guy who didn't finish ahead of where he qualified. The Italian driver Dave Stefanini started 14th, had to settle for 23rd, just ahead of Mikhail Vasilescu. Then we get to the cars who were 1 lap down. It is Jeff Jacobson, Francois Van Dendeveld, Dornenveld, then into 27th position, Raymond Regalado, Guillaume Cravo back in 29th position, 30th, Jeroen Ursum, Christopher Smith in 31st. Oh, I'm going to stop right there. I don't want to do any more. Let's give it over to my partner in 32nd. Go ahead.
Well, Richard Valley finishing in 32nd, Mats Sjöblom in 33rd, Tom Gradwell and Jens Nordström finishing out our top 35. And Jens Nordström already the last or the first non-finisher of this race. The rest of the non-finishers are David Graspers, Antonio Rice, Jeffrey Murphy, Fred Desson, Isa Numi, Donald Fittera, Jerry McAravy, and Jason Dunning not even taking the green flag.
Oh, I'm glad you struggled on 1-2. Take a sip, viewers. Okay, hopefully you're all still sober and watching here. All right, I'm looking at who's up. It says Soup is up here with Madden. So let's go ahead and bring John Madden into. This is our John Madden. It took me a while to use that one. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring him in right now. And we'll talk to our third place finisher who led coming out of the final corner. Jonathan, nice job. We'll wait to see if he can talk to us here. Waiting for Jonathan.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
There we go. Now we got you. Now we got you. Okay. Well, you were leading out of the bus stop.
Yeah, it was close. These things are always a bit of a crapshoot when you're coming to the finish line in a draft pack. But I did what I could, and it was not surprising to me at all that Arrow was able to get us both coming from third place. You don't really have to play the games too much when you're in third, and you just got a good run and went flying on by. But it was a lot of fun. It was a nice, clean race.
You're surprised that Houdaloudas went high there out of that last one and made you go down low? Is that what you would have done if you were up in front?
Yeah, that's a move I've done quite a few times. You really have no choice. If you just drive your line at the bottom, you're gonna lose guaranteed. So
got it.
He slowed down a little bit to try to get a rerun on me, which he did. It got him second place, so good for him. And Arrow just went blown by the both of us. So
now, are you racing for Bushfink? Did I see those colors on your car?
Yep. I started with Bushfink maybe 6 or 8 months ago, and yeah, it's been great. It's fun. It's fun racing Arrow. He's a good competition, and he's a good guy.
I hear it's like a cult over there with secret handshakes and passwords and stuff. Is that true, or is it pretty friendly?
No, it's very friendly. I mean,
okay,
it's a good time.
Well, congratulations for getting going over to the evil empire of Bush Fink, and good luck to you the rest of the way. You going to be around for the whole championship? You got to run of the crown?
Yeah, I should be. I'm going to at least do the majority of the races, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again.
Good. With 4 drop races, you'll be in good shape. Okay, Jonathan Madden, our 3rd place finisher. And now, as we take Jonathan, escort him out of our luxuriously decorated broadcast booth, next up is going to be, for Stefan, Aeronum.
Well, Aeronum is here with us on the booth. Aero, congrats on this incredible finish and taking away the win. How did it feel for you finishing in first?
Yeah, it was pretty good. The race was quite difficult in the beginning. David was pinking so bad, and I got behind in the 4th place, 5th place. I just tried to stay calm and wait for the pit stops.
Hey, perfect strategy there. If it plays out, it's always a win for the 3rd place car. Now, having to manage some of the traffic, especially into turn 1, especially we had one situation where a car was on the inside wrecked, pretty much putting a smoke screen onto the racetrack for you guys. Were you a bit scared or something like that driving through that, or it's fine?
Yeah, in that instant it was just had to watch the car if he's backing up or not, so it was pretty safe there. But the worst traffic was in the bus stop. If you get traffic there, you lose, like I lost before the pit stop.
All right, well, next up, I think we are going to Road America, if I read this correctly. How do you feel about Road America, it being so similar to Daytona for these cars?
Yeah, it's quite similar. I think I won the last time out, and yeah, let's see how it goes. And I want to thank Jonathan for the setup. It worked pretty well.
Well, speaking about Jonathan, who else do you want to thank who makes your wins possible here in the Weekend Warrior series?
Yeah, all the Team Bushwick guys.
Well then, everyone, that was Aeronum, your top finisher here at Daytona International Raceway. And I believe Soup has caught out with our 2nd place finisher.
It is to the Grease Lightning, Demetrius Houdaludis. Demetrius, congratulations on the almost win. Before we talk about the end, let's go ahead and talk about the very beginning of the race. You were in 5th, and then the pace car didn't pull off, at least for us. Is that how it looked to you when you were out there driving?
Yeah. Hello, guys. Hello, Shoop. I was a little bit surprised in the beginning. I told myself, what's going on here? But when the other guys in front just passed the pace car, I passed as well. I said, if it will be bad for me, it will be bad for the others as well. So no problem with that.
Did you actually get like the spotter, or did you get the to go that it was time to race, or did you just realize it was time to go? I mean, what happened there inside the cockpit?
No, I had started accelerating before the green lights when the leader got going, and to be honest, I braked up a little bit at some point. I didn't know what was going on. I just tried to stay on the inside line and be careful through T1. That was my goal there. So everything went according to the plan. So no problem at all.
I'm saving the end of the race for the very end. Let's go to the middle of the race. I was a little worried about you there as you were racing in 3rd and had a big gap to I guess it would be Madden. It would have been Madden, I guess, Gaspers, who was racing up front. I was worried about you using too much fuel. Were you comfortable in 3rd?
I started getting very worried because they were bump drafting on the oval sector of the track. And Kane and Darrow weren't as close to me as I would like them to be.
Right.
To bump draft me as well. And I thought that we were out of luck, at least me, because my pit stops aren't the optimal ones, like Heroes, for example. Congrats to him. Yeah. But surprisingly, after the pit stop, I came out along with Madden. I think I may have had done a little bit of fuel saving by mistake in the beginning because it was very difficult to pass, and I wanted to keep a safe distance on the train in the beginning. So I guess I maybe half a lap or something like that I also took one or two laps more than I had to.
Got it. Well, let's get to it now. I got two more questions for you. The first one is about racing. Out of the bus stop, you decide to protect high, and then the Bushfink guys are coming. You had enough time to get back and maybe take a second shot at it.
Let's put some more context into that. Before the bus stop, I started lifting so that the people, so that Jonathan and Tero would stick on my tail more. But they were lifting as well, and I say, okay, we're after the bus stop now. Let's go all in, full throttle, pedal to the metal, and see how it's going to be. I kept the high line because it was the only way to get a draft back afterwards, because the straight is huge in the end. But if I knew Madden had gone below the apron in the end, I would have stayed lower. But at that point where we were 3 wide and so close, I didn't know. I guess if two things. One, if I had stayed a little bit lower, I may have won. And if I had taken a little bit less fuel, maybe a lap, I have had one as well.
The car might have been a little lighter, and you didn't need to be a lot faster. Only an ounce lighter might have made the difference.
Yeah, maybe an ounce. Yeah, I don't know that unit of measure. Yeah, an ounce.
It's a small. It's a shot glass.
Yeah.
We'll get to let's go ahead with Greece here now. We had a big meeting here at GSRC, and we had an argument about you. The proper pronunciation of your last name. I was determined. I was sticking with it's Hootaludis. That's what I was saying. When they know Hootaludis, let's hear it once and for all. The proper pronunciation of your last name.
The proper pronunciation is Houdeludis. It's not. It's the. It's not D in Greek.
Got it.
Yeah, in the English language it's D. So it's the same. You pronounce it very well. And
okay.
The tones are to the point.
They're buying me dinner. That's all right. Thanks. I've won the bet. Thanks a lot. Congratulations the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
All right. Demetrius Houtaludis. There you have it. And we have one last interview.
Yes, I've caught up with our Lord and Savior Nim Cross. Nim finishing second in the Spec 2, just ahead of third and fourth, right behind you. How did it feel to you?
Hey guys, it was a good race, a lot of fun. I had trouble in qualifying there. I couldn't seem to get a draft off anybody, so it was a lone qualifying effort, and I had to start pretty far back from where I felt I should have been, but it worked out pretty good. The race was good. I made 2 stupid mistakes where I spun out, and that cost me time. And I was working all week in practice, making sure I didn't do those things, and I did them anyway. So that was a little bit disappointing, but it was a lot of fun. And these guys are a great group to race with.
Yes, indeed. Now, we had a little situation at the start there with our pace car driver. Did you have a chance yet to speak with him? What happened there and what went through his mind?
I don't know what he was doing, but he's certainly going to be fired. And I will be talking with some people on Monday about that issue.
Yeah, that really put a lot of stop signs to some of the show we sadly were gladly still were quite enjoying here up in the booth. Well, Nim, at the end of this interview, who makes it happen for you apart from all the iRacing staff?
Well, iRacing makes it happen for me, obviously, and I appreciate that very much. But Stevie, for putting on the league, you guys at GRC, you do a great job with your broadcast. I watch many different leagues that you guys cover and races that you guys do, and I enjoy them a lot. It's better than watching television and even some real races. So I really appreciate you guys also.
Well, thank you, Nim. We also appreciate you. All right, everyone. Nim Cross right here in the booth with us. And I believe, Soup, this is our call.
That's it. We are all done, so we can go ahead and thank the people who make this possible. Now, pay attention because I have a chance for you to win a prize here. Thanks to everyone at Weekend Warriors and especially Stevie Ray for organizing the SRF series and the good folks at Sim Stickers for supporting it. And check them out, guys. It's a cool product. Check them out at simstickers.co.uk. And support for and also support for guys. Life can bring challenges to men in the modern world. Don't let it get you down. Talk to someone. Support for Guys wants to listen and wants to help you realize the potential of a happy life. Their goal to help you find new ways to cope with life's ups and downs. The approach is simple. Find what works for you and support that new path for a better tomorrow. A counselor is waiting to listen. You don't have to be local. Just visit supportforguys.com and you can find that happy life that you've been looking for. The companies and equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that lets us stream cyberspace into your place. The original music that gives every GSRC broadcast its unique flavor and feel comes courtesy of Eric Eckelm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. All right, I bet you want to know what's next up for the Sim Stickers SRF Weekend Warriors. Well, it's going to be round 3. That's next Sunday, September 30th from, a big place, Road America. You don't want to miss that one. GSRC will be there to bring you all the rounds 3 action. We hope that you join us. Sliding across your screen right now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. You still with me? This is important stuff coming up. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_RAM. All right, and while you're here, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe by hitting that button on this YouTube channel. And if you hurry, you might just be our lucky 7,000 YouTube subscriber, and you might win a submarine sandwich for being 7,000 sub. Finally, on behalf of the crew, Stefan, Sean, Dougie, and Joe, nip one pearl too, Joe. And our director said something to me there. We are at 7,000 right now, so whoever you are, contact GSRC and we'll send you that sub sandwich in the mail. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And remember, with this being only the second day of fall, I still have enough time for one last final water gun fight. And with that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.